A number of people listen to it.
And we're up to 36 on the call at the moment.
Okay, great. Okay, well, why don't we get started and maybe some more will join. I think that's about the same number that we had last time. Do you remember, Catriona?
Yeah. It was in the high 30s. I don't remember.
High 30s, early 40s. Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. I was going to say happy holidays, but now I'm just going to say happy snow days. This is just crazy. I personally am loving it, but I'm happy. I'm very lucky to be retired and not really have to go anywhere. So I can sit home and enjoy it, which is very nice. So welcome to our fourth quarter meeting for 2021. We have three terrific presentations tonight, as always, on behalf of very worthy organizations. And one of them is going to get about a $15,000 year-end bonus after this meeting. Please set your audio on mute unless you're speaking. And thank you, Catriona, once again, for providing the technical help for tonight's meeting, which, by the way, that mostly means to me. If you have need any help getting on or hearing or voting, then you can text Catriona at 299-3410 if you need any help. Catriona, you want to give the instructions on mute and raising hands and chat?
Yeah, thanks, Patrice. Hello from snowy Anchorage. Hopefully I make it down in one piece tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, someone just messaged me. Okay, I was just about how to share the video afterwards. So you've got capabilities to mute and unmute yourself. Oftentimes you have to move your cursor in order to see the buttons. On a computer, there'll be a strip of command center that shows up at the bottom, and you see the little microphone, click it on or off to mute it. To raise your hand, see in the reactions down at the bottom on that same control strip, there's a little emoji that says reactions. If you hover on that, you'll see the one that says raise hand. When we're doing the question and answer session later, that's particularly useful because I can see who put their hands up and what order they did that, and so we can call them to those people to speak and ask the questions. During this, I'll keep an eye on that too, so if you have a question during the session, I can respond to that maybe in the chat, but perhaps the best way would be to either chat me privately, which you can see the chat button. If you go there, you can select in the bottom, and I guess I could share my screen. Would that be helpful for anyone? I don't know. Anyway, in the chat, you can chat just to me or you can chat to the whole group. So are there any questions about any of that right now?
Okay, no raised hands, right? Okay. Okay, so let's go on. So let me take a minute here to explain to new members, and we have quite a few. Thanks to all of you. I appreciate it so very much that we had a call for trying to get to 150 members, and I'll let you know in a little bit, but we even exceeded that. So I'm very, very excited. So here's how our process works. We meet 4 times a year for 1 hour. It's the first week of March, June, September, and December. And we rotate days of the week between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Just because there are people who have standing meetings on certain days, and we want them to at least a couple times a year be able to attend our meetings. Our next meeting will be on Thursday, March 3rd in 2022. The hour goes like this. We have our welcome. We explain how things work. We have first an update from the recipient of last quarter's donation. Then we have 3 presentations by members who have put their name in a hat a couple of weeks before, saying that they'd like to present on behalf of a charitable organization. We pick 3 names at random, and then each one of those 3 members gets 5 minutes to explain about their charity and why we should vote for their charity. Then we're going to have some Q&A on all three presentations. You can unmute and ask a question. You can type your question in the chat, as Catriona mentioned, but we'll try to get to all the questions for up to about 10 minutes. And then we're going to vote right on the screen. Works terrific, and it's instantaneous. We'll have results within a couple of minutes, which is just terrific. And then Catriona will announce this quarter's recipient. And then, in keeping with the pledge that we all signed when you joined 100 Women Who Care, every member writes a check to that organization, the one that got the most votes, for $100. And that's whether you attend the meeting or not, or whether you voted for that organization or not. That's how we get the power of pooling all of our money together. Just a same reminder I make every time, which is please don't write your check out to 100 Women Who Care. We have no way of managing that other than asking you to write another check. Maybe I shouldn't mention it because I mention it and then it happens at least once every single quarter. And then we'll notify the rest of the members by email and Facebook about which organization is getting our group donation. And then everyone can drop their checks off at Art Shop Gallery during their business hours, which in December are going to be 11 to 6 Monday through Saturday and 12 to 4 on Sundays. Or you can just drop your check in the big black mailbox that's on the left side of the door at Art Shop Gallery, and it's a secure mailbox. So your check goes in and it doesn't come out until Joelle comes and gets it during business hours. Or you can mail your check to, as always, 100 Women Who Care, P.O. Box 3307 here in Homer. And remember, if you feel compelled to write more than one check, for the one or both of the other organizations that didn't get the most votes, well, then you just go, girl. And as you'll see, that happens on a regular basis here. So welcome everyone to our 4th quarterly meeting of 2021. First, I want to thank everyone for your wonderful generosity and donating to our 3rd quarter recipient, the Homer Water and Soil Conservation District. We'll have an update from Kyra Wagner in a few minutes about how our $13,550 donation was used. We had a 97% participation rate last quarter, which was higher than in September. So thank you very much for that. I did drop a couple of, sorry. Thank you, Catriona. She was applauding. We did drop 3 members to the inactive list. I do that if you don't pay 3 quarters in a row, then I kind of figure you're not interested anymore, and I just drop your name to an inactive list, and then you can reactivate that if you want at any time. But you no longer get emails from us. So we dropped 3 to the inactive list, but we added 9 new members this quarter. Thank you to everyone who referred a friend to join our Homer chapter. So as of tonight, we have 152 members. And I think for Homer, I think that's quite fabulous. It's wonderful. Thank you. Also this time, to give you an incentive to drop off or send in your checks early, everyone whose donation has been received either in the post office box or over at Art Shop Gallery, if they've been received by Friday, December 17th, your name will go in a drawing for 24 cookies in your choice of snickerdoodles or chocolate crinkles made and donated by Catriona. So thank you, Catriona. And I hope that's good incentive that we can get the funds to the organization that's our quarterly recipient. In addition to the $13,550 that you donated for the Homer Water and Soil Conservation District, you also donated $600 to the Kachemak Bay Conservation Society and $650 to the Kachemak Heritage Land Trust Protect the Salmon Project. So thank you to everyone. And since our very first meeting in March of 2018, our Homer chapter of 100 Women Who Care has donated just over $159,000 to charities that serve the southern tip of the Kenai Peninsula. Another big, just another big, amazing number. I'm so excited. 159,000. Yep. So thank you, everyone. We always want more members. So if you get a chance to tell a friend or relative about our group, please do. They can get the simple pledge form from me by email, pkrant@me.com, or off of our Facebook page. So before Kyra gives her update about how they used the funds last quarter, Lori Palo from Sprout would like to say a special thank you. So Lori, you want to unmute yourself?
Yes. Can you share the picture I sent you, or Catriona?
We can. Hang
Right.
on one sec. Yeah.
So I think it was a year ago that I presented for Sprout for Imagination Library, and we won, and it was so awesome. So I kind of wanted just to show you what the books look like now when they go to the children. This is a book for a 4-year-old that a friend of mine has, and can you make it big?
I think she's probably trying, Lori.
Oh, okay.
It's filling my screen. What are you seeing?
Just the two little
I think you're just
thumbnails.
sharing the folder and not the viewer.
Okay. I thought it would go there from that. Let me try again.
Do you want me to try?
I can do it, I think.
Okay.
That was a good tip, though. I'll just share my screen. I thought I was being all smarty pants. Is that better?
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
This is the front of the book, and this is how they receive it in the mail. But most importantly, the back of the book is what I wanted to show you. And you kind of have to put your head to the side. But it says, thank you, 100 women. Oh.
Look at
So
that.
every book
Okay.
that kids get, say, thank you, 100 women. I can't see either. Your parent Homer chapter for your generous donation. So it took a while for this to get on through the, going through the Dolly Parton Foundation, but it's finally on there. So it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. So I just wanted to thank everyone again that it was awesome. And the kids are, of course, getting their books, and it gets to continue. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori. That's terrific. Thanks, Catriona.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for that. Okay, Kyra, if you'll give us a brief update on how the Homer Soil and Water Conservation District used the funds that we donated.
Okay, is my mic working? Can you hear me?
It is. It is.
Oh, that's great. It wasn't working earlier. I've just been holding my breath this whole time. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I'm actually at the office right now, but I will, like Catriona, try to be a smarty pants. Can you guys see my PowerPoint?
We can. We can.
Okay. Oh, this is so good. I even had a message in the chat ready to say my mic's not working. Okay, so right off the bat, thank you guys. But I wanted to show you some pictures. Let's see if I can figure out. There we go. This was our main office at the Frontier building, remember? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chairs squeezed into that for my 12 coworkers and I, and 280 square feet. Now we have 2 desks. There's one space with an entry desk and one desk off to the side for our ag program folks that deal with the soil tests and things like that, where we do a lot of face-to-face with people and talking to farmers and working with them. So our front face, I should point out, we're still in the midst of moving. So like taking things off the wall, we're putting new things up. The whole front of the room now will have room for all the brochures about all of the things and we can actually have resources for people to see. This is where the rest of us work. There's 2 employees that'll have permanent desks at the old office. And then the rest of us, this is what it looked like before. This was a side room that we turned into some things. So I'll show you the progress. This was that room. You can see there's blue tape on the floor. That's where it was like, all right, contractors, this is where I want the walls built. This was our first board meeting in the side room. We turned it into a conference room. We used to have conference rooms conferences with NRCS, but their conference room has too many regulations now with COVID, so we couldn't meet in there with public members anymore. So now we have our own ability to meet. And then this is with the walls coming up, and this was today. So again, we're still in the process of moving in. You'll notice there's a lot of furniture in the middle of the room. So that has been one of the things, not only getting everything built, but getting all of the furniture. All of us have been hitting up Facebook want ads. So we have spent about $3,000 on furniture. We thank you to Ketchmack, the Ketchmack group. When they moved into their new building, we scored a ton of furniture. So we have been getting creative. Those things in the middle of the room there where we're going to be putting our printer station is actually their desk toppers for really fancy desks. We're making them credenzas. But yeah, it's all coming together. The landlord put in a kitchenette for us. So we need a table that'll be going there that'll double as like another meeting table and work table. But and this is the conference room that we have been using for the last couple months. That's been the easiest one to use. But again, our desk toppers as credenzas and lots of chairs and little things that we have collected along the way. So the neighbors approve. We appreciate everything a great deal. It would not have been possible. We got this also helped us get a grant through Rasmussen that paid for a lot of the construction. And so I couldn't have felt good about signing a lease without this. So this was incredible. And thank you for helping us do everything we do.
Thank you. Thank you, Kyra. Thank you, Kyra. Oh my gosh, it warms my heart. But I will tell you that I had the same reaction tonight that I had when I came over to see the new offices. And as a quilter, I just have to say, it needs quilter. It needs quilts on the walls.
Totally.
Those big white walls are just screaming out for some quilts.
All right, we're ready for
you. So thank you. All right. So again, this quarter, we solicited the names in advance of those members who want to make a presentation tonight. 8 members threw their hats in their names in the hat. And 3 were chosen at random. So we're now going to listen to those 3 5-minute pitches, followed by we'll then have Q&A for all 3 presenters at once. So Hannah Gustafson for Megan's Place, you're up first.
All right, thank you so much. I'm super honored to be here tonight and presenting on behalf of this organization. Let me see if I can pull up my PowerPoint. All right, are you seeing a presentation? All right, beautiful. So as Patrice said, my name is Hannah Gustafson, and I am presenting tonight on behalf of the Exchange or Megan's Place. I have been a volunteer with this organization in the community for a few years now, and I was inspired to start volunteering when I learned that one of my closest childhood friends was deep into opioid addiction. In my helplessness, I felt that volunteering was an action within my power that could allow me to be a positive presence in the lives of community members facing similar struggles. Megan's Place has been around since 2016. It was actually originally called The Exchange, and it was created as a harm reduction strategy inspired by a need in our community and led by a collaboration of Homer agencies and Homer women. Since then, the Exchange has been renamed Megan's Place, and this is in memory of one of the founding members and a peer support volunteer, Megan Anderson, who passed away last year. And I wanted to share some of the words of one of the board members, Jenny Espenshade, that was a tribute to Megan when she passed. As one of the quietest but most effective voices at the table in 2015, when community members first met to discuss the creation of a local syringe access program, Megan taught us crucial and ongoing lessons in empathy and compassion. She taught us most by her example of meeting persons where they were without a hint of judgment. She understood the struggles of addiction and did everything in her power to help reduce the harms of injection drug use. From midnight deliveries of new syringes to helping clean up used ones found around town. She helped us connect dozens of community members with overdose prevention kits, from family members to bartenders to boat skippers. In honor of her incredible life that was way too short, we are amending the name of the Homer Exchange to do business as Megan's Place. So this occurred within the last year, and they also became an independent 501c3, which was an exciting development. But this organization has a really small budget. Just last year, they only spent $11,000. It all goes towards supplies, and they have about $9,000 right now in reserves for future operating costs. And their annual budget normally ranges between $8,000 and $10,000. Some of the services that are provided by the exchange are truly life-saving services. This is a place for syringe disposal. Even during COVID, they were open, and someone with a diabetic cat was able to bring their used syringes to the exchange when the hospital wasn't open to the public. They have safe injection and smoking supplies. They have Narcan overdose kits and training. They have fentanyl testing strips, and they do hepatitis C and HIV testing for participants. Some of the numbers since the organization was created in 2020 or in 2016, they've had over 116 openings, and these are all volunteer led. So that's over 500 hours of volunteer time. In the past year, they saw about 150 participants, averaging 9 participants per opening. And they have a peer distributor, peer leadership program that serves an additional 12 participants per month. So on average, the Megan's Place is serving 40 to 50 people every month. Some of the numbers from this past year, a total of 36,000 syringes were distributed and 27,000 were returned. So that's 2 out of every 3 coming back for disposal. As I mentioned, this was an access point for the community when the hospital's sharps drop-off shut down. And also over the last year, they've distributed 78 Narcan overdose kits, and that has resulted in at least 12, that's just what's been reported, successful overdose reversals. And so that literally represents 12 lives saved within our community. And those are just the ones we know about. So my ask for you today is to support this organization and some hope for the holidays. Last year, we were able to put together gift bags for participants, and this included everything from gift cards to cold weather supplies to hygiene supplies. And we were able to do that because we had additional funds in response to COVID, but we don't have that funding this year. So my ask for 100 women is that you support Megan's Place. Half of the funds will go towards additional operational expenses, and the other half will go to the Hope for the Holiday gift bags. And we are planning to partner with other agencies within the community this year so that these gift bags go to anyone along the road to recovery. So we're partnering with Set Free Residential Program, Ninilchik Traditional Council's Medication Assisted Treatment Program, and Sakata. And in closing, I just want to share the story of one of our opioid task force community members. She shares, I have been to inpatient or a facility 5 times and have spent Christmas in both jail and a facility. In my 5th time receiving help, most of my family did not believe I would stay clean and sober. They did not trust me, and they were afraid to be in relationship with me because they feared I would go back out again. I understood their fear, but during the holidays, it stung a little worse when they did not want to communicate or celebrate with me as a family. The last facility I was in, I had one of the most amazing Christmases ever. I was given words of encouragement, gift cards, handmade gifts, and more from community members I had never met. I opened these gifts on Christmas morning and was told someone believed in me. I truly felt loved and cherished when I thought I would be forgotten. Thank you for your consideration.
Patrice, you're muted.
I was doing so well. Sorry. Up next is Rika Mao, who's going to talk about a multi-organizational project being funded by the Kachemak Bay Conservation Society. Rika.
Thank you so much. Let's see if I can get this straight. Oh, boy. Is it full screen now?
We're not seeing it,
are.
Rika. I have confidence in you
Oh,
though.
I'm sorry. Okay, all right. I got it. So minimalize. Oh my gosh. All right, so first I screen share. Got it. Share.
There you go.
No, what's happening?
Is it down at the bottom, Rika?
PowerPoint. There,
There
okay.
you go.
All right. Sorry, you guys. Sorry. Well, good evening, everyone. I am really excited to share and talk about a project near and dear to my heart. In the fall of 2019, Cook Inlet Keepers spearheaded a local community engagement project modeled after a best-selling book, Drawdown, a multi-year comprehensive study that now serves as a guide for community in informing and empowering local collective actions towards climate solutions. The word drawdown refers to the future point in time when levels of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere stop climbing and start to steadily decline. The Homer Drawdown Project began with about 100 enthusiastic people who met monthly at the college, reading a chapter each month from the book and listening to local experts on the subject we were reading about. After 8 months, we collectively chose an action we felt was the most significant that we could do on the peninsula. Homer Drawdown chose peatlands in recognition that the Kenai Peninsula has a lot of peatlands and that landscape change and land use management issues are crucial to mitigation of global warming. Peatland ecosystems cover only about 3% of the Earth's land area, and yet they are only second to the ocean in the amount of carbon they store and twice what is held in world forests. We partnered with 10 local nonprofits as well as the college and the city of Homer. We engaged about 250 people community-wide and logged in over 1,000 volunteer hours this summer alone. We did citizen science, peat surveying and mapping borough-wide in partnership with the Kachemak Bay National Estuarine Research Reserve, involving 61 participants there. In conservation, we focused on the Beluga Wetlands Complex by successfully lobbying the Borough Assembly in removing 20 acres to be auctioned off for sale for industrial development. We stopped a 3-mile service road within the airport that would have disrupted 20 acres of peatlands and are working with the city of Homer on green stormwater practices. In education and outreach, we partnered with the Center for Alaskan Coastal Studies, offering field trips, reaching dozens and dozens of enthusiastic teens. We created a user-friendly, informative website. We gave presentations to the City Council and the Kenai Borough Assembly and on KBBI, and we hosted a booth at the Salmon Fest. Art provides a different way of communicating, and we've used it in several ways through partnering with Bunnell Street Art Center and the Pratt Museum. Through Bunnell, an artist in residence spent a month in the peatlands photographing them and eventually producing an exhibit at the Pratt Museum along with 12 additional artists and giving a talk to about 50 participants. Another powerful art action, the group has commissioned a high quality art piece to be located in a high visibility location that informs and expresses the value of peatland ecosystems. As air travel is a major contributor to climate changing greenhouse gases, and the airport being located in Homer's largest wetland, peatland, what better location could we connect the dots for the public and how better than through the power and beauty of art. In working with the City of Homer's Public Works Director, she found a way to integrate an art installation within a larger future facelift and improvement plan for the airport terminal building. The artwork will be installed at the terminal entryway on both sides. A panel including a city employee. Whoop, why is that not working? I'm sorry, you guys.
Good.
Okay.
You're good.
A panel including a city employee from the Parks Department, Bunnell's artistic director, several artists and drawdown participants reviewed the conceptual proposals received from a statewide call for entry from which an artist was selected. The selected artist is not only local, but she is deeply knowledgeable and connected to these landscapes. She is a biologist, an artist, and a nature journalist, and has been doing her work all over the state. I share these images that are from one of her notebooks to demonstrate her sensibility and skill, not as her proposal. Now that she's selected, this artist will be doing a residency and has 10 months to create an art piece that will make us all proud. The Homer Drawdown Peatland project has been an amazingly productive and meaningful endeavor, showing how powerfully collective action works. This art installation will offer further education to residents and visitors alike. It will create a sense of place and act as creative placemaking. Collective action creates strength and community, and it's what makes Homer so special. I'm now reaching out to you to fund this project and be a part of our local climate solutions. Tonight, you, 100 Women Who Care, can fully fund and make this art installation happen collectively by giving it your support. I wish each of you a holiday full of reason to smile and to celebrate, and thank you so very much.
Thank you, Rika. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, and now next we're going to hear from Amy Woodruff, who's going to speak about the rec room. Now, many of you already know that the rec room is part of the Kenai Peninsula Family Planning Clinic. And you may remember that they have already been a recipient of one of our quarterly donations. However, it was more than 3 years ago, so it's okay for the rec room to come back up before us for consideration. So, Amy.
Hello, everyone. Let me get this started.
Okay.
Screen. Of course, now I can't see what I need to see. All right, we should have, oh, beautiful. Closed captioning. This is an amazing feature of Google Slides. So I wanted to make sure that everybody would be able to hear me even if the connection got a little rough. So hello, my name is Amy Woodruff. My day job is out at the Harbor Master's office. So if we have any questions about ice and snow conditions, we can address those at the end. But I also volunteer as the board president of Kitsmack Bay Family Planning Clinic. And so that's why I'm here today.
Excuse me, Amy.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to know you've got your speaker notes showing over the top of your, there you go.
Yeah, thank you. We'll just stand back. Okay. Yeah, Kitsmack Bay Family Planning Clinic and the Rec Room are, sometimes people think of them as two separate organizations, but really it's one organization with one shared mission, and it does two amazing steps of work in this community. So you may know our two buildings on Ben Walters. I also want to share the mission of the organization, which is to provide broad access to reproductive health care services and education in a supportive and empowering environment. Those of you who think of the Rec Room as a teen center might be wondering how it is that we do that, in after school programming with young people, right? We're not dragging them over to the clinic and providing healthcare. So how do we make this happen for teens? And what we do is we provide access to health education, healthy choices, and healthy relationship information to young people on site in the Rec Room and also in local schools. So the Rec Room has resources like snacks, toiletries, warm clothing, all the kinds of things that young people might need. We have activities like gardening and art. We also, really make sure that the rec room is a safe space. And then we have our peer education program where we train young people to go into the schools and teach about health education and healthy choices. And that's not only in the high school, but in the middle school and in schools in Anchor Point, and sometimes as far north as Minochet. I wanted to make sure we gave you some stats about what we do. In the past quarter, we had 200 hours of programming, and that was both in-person and virtual programs. And we had 51 teens who participated a total of 506 times. We have a confidential LGBTQ support group that meets weekly in person. And they just wrapped up before I got here today. So it's amazing to like be in a space. I'm in the rec room right now that offers this kind of support to young people. I also mentioned the peer educators. We have 6 trained youth on staff at the moment that are able to share this evidence-based information about sexual and mental health. And really the work doesn't stop when they stop working here. They are trusted by their peers. And they really carry that strength and that knowledge with them on through the rest of their life. So what are we coming to you to ask for? Well, we get so much community support for this work. Moms will drop off a bag of teen-friendly snacks. Community members might volunteer to be a mentor and share their skills with teens. And we've gotten hand-me-down furniture to outfit our space. We're at a point now where we have staffing and mentor support to provide more activities for young people, but the space really needs to grow. So we're asking you to help us refresh the rec room building and to help us meet the diverse needs of our growing programs. This is the downstairs space in the rec room. I like to say it's one basement with many jobs. So on a given afternoon, some teens might be working on a project, while others are making music or playing Dungeons and Dragons together. It can get really noisy and chaotic in this space. The sort of things we want to be able to do with teens, cooking, art, yoga, and support group meetings all have different needs from this one room. So we want to purchase furniture that's easy to clean and easy to relocate. And we also want storage for the materials that come for those different activities. We really want to become more adaptable and move away from all or nothing, because right now, if one person's making music, everyone's hearing music. We also, have teens that might need to work quietly on homework or meet privately with an adult like Sierra, who you see here on the left. They might want to talk through some issues or seek support. So we want to make sure that we're able to divide up the space to provide that privacy and support multiple activities happening at once. And then upstairs in the same building, we have a space that is dedicated to our youth program staff and the peer educators. We have in this one space, the 6 peer educators and the 4 adults who work there. We can have multiple calls, video meetings, and in-person meetings happening while a larger group is also, gathered around the table. And so we want to do 2 things upstairs, create more opportunities for the adults to do their work separately or privately, and to replicate the classroom environment a little bit more closely. And that's for 2 reasons. One, we want the teen peer eds to practice the way that they're going to teach when they get into the classroom, right? We want them to have access to a smartboard and to a projector, because that's what they'll be using when they're teaching. And also, this is a classroom for them where they're learning from the adults that support them. And so we want this to be a space that supports the tech and the needs that they have as they're learning how to do this work. So just to sum up, the rec room provides a really unique after-school experience for teens that aren't in an organized activity. This is a finite number of time, these couple of hours in the evening, and we see so many interests converge in this one space. So we want to make sure that our building can support what all the teens that come to us are looking for, all those different interests and activities. So thank you so much for your time. And our CEO, Claudia, is on the call as well. And so both of us are happy to help answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Amy. Okay, so now let's have about, a few minutes for any questions that you have for either Hannah or Rika or Amy. So any questions? You can either just unmute your mic.
Janet chatted a question in, and perhaps this was already included in the presentation. Amy, how many youth does the Rec Room service per week or per month?
Yes, so the numbers I have are for the fall quarter, and it was, I believe, 52 youth. All my paper is on the floor, but it's 50 something.
Okay, and then let's see, we've got Adele and then Karen who have their hands up.
Thank you, all of you, for your presentations. Rika, a quick question for you. Who would the checks be written to in your multi-organization proposal?
Well, Ketchikan Conservation Society is our fiscal sponsor.
Good question, Adele. Karen?
Hannah, could you please tell me where Megan's Place is located?
Yes, we have space donated by South Peninsula Hospital. So it takes place 2 Tuesdays a month in the training center right there on Pioneer.
So it's very findable.
Yep.
Good. Thank
And
you.
yeah, and then we've got 2 more in the chat. One from Claire, for the Rec Room. How will you change the Rec Room?
Might be muted, Amy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'll invite Claudia to jump in on this as well. I think some of the things that we've been talking about are putting a divider into the space so that we can open it up or close it off for different activities. Purchasing, replacing the one huge conference style table that we have with tables more like what are in the meeting room at the college, where they're on wheels, they're easy to fold up and move out of the way, they're easy to clean. Something that would let us set up the space for art and then transition to something where we need a lot of room, in the space of a couple minutes. It could also be adding storage that's sort of dedicated to the materials. I've been volunteering at the Rec Room since 2013, and I can tell you it's grown a lot, but there is so much going on in there, and it's a lot of visual clutter that is just, it can be really hard for teens. It's like overstimulating. But Claudia, do you have anything else you want to add to that?
I would say, yeah, the focus is furnishings, dividers, storage space that allow the space to be its most adaptable, because we have a lot of people, community support that want to come mentor teens there, that we really need kind of the furnishing and kind of more infrastructure refresh in there that will allow us to have the materials that support those programs.
Great, thanks. And then I have a couple of overlapping questions that were chatted in, and these are both for Hannah. From Vivian, what is the operational expenses for Megan's Place? And from Marsha, what is the budget for the Hope Kids?
So last year, income was 20,000 and expenses were 11. So there's actually 9,000. And the average operating expenses, and it's just for supplies because everything is volunteer led, is between 8,000 and 10,000 a year. And so, yes, it would be essentially the split of the donation. If we were the recipient from 100 Women would be half of it. So a full 150 women, so 7,500 towards operations, so a whole year of operations. And then the other half would be towards the Hope for the Holidays gift bags. And so, yeah, we anticipate there's probably between Set Free and the medication assisted treatment program and Cicada and the exchange, probably about 100 community members that would be recipients. So $75 per recipient.
And I just want to remind everyone too that each organization can only receive our gift once every 3 years. So even if someone was to use it all for operational expenses, that doesn't even come close to for that operational expense for 3 years.
Right. Good point.
Yeah,
Any
and
other questions?
I just had one thing I forgot to mention in my presentation, but like many things we're seeing with supply chain issues, seeing increasing costs for supplies for the program.
Okay.
I don't see any more hands raised or any more chat questions.
All right, I think we're ready to vote then. So please be patient, as not everybody has been through this with us. It's very simple. Catriona is going to put it up on the screen, and I think you just have to click on one. Is that right, Catriona? We ready?
Yeah, I think you should see it now, and I'll be able to see
Yep,
the
we see
votes
it.
as they come in. So,
Okay.
all right, we've got 44 people on the line too. So,
Okay, terrific. All right.
oh, and
So
I
go
can't
ahead and vote. So
I
vote
just-
and then hit submit.
I just found out that I can't vote.
Oh, you can't vote?
I'll be a tiebreaker if we need one.
Okay, all right, okay.
We're at 35 out of 43.
Okay.
Almost there. Okay, there's a couple people, chat me if you're struggling, but we're almost to our full 44. Patrice, I just want to make sure that you voted.
I did. Can you see that? Yeah. I just did. It took me a while. It's a very difficult decision. They're always so good.
Okay, well, we're at 42 out of 44, so I think I'll count down. Okay, so I have someone
I don't want you to
saying
show it. I don't want you to show it just yet. Is that okay?
Okay,
Can you hold it? Because I just have an announcement that I want to make.
okay.
Do you
Okay.
see that Marcia couldn't see anything?
Yeah, I see that. I'm not sure. Marcia, you
To
could give me a
vote.
quick call if you want, and I can talk you through it.
Okay,
Okay,
while they're
I
doing,
just don't see anything on my screen.
you didn't have a chance to vote? You didn't see a
No.
chance, a place to vote?
Are you still seeing Zoom?
Yeah, I see your face.
My face.
Yeah. Am I supposed to hit anything different?
Nope. Nope, I'm not sure why it didn't.
It's what it's worth. Even if the final two people voted, it wouldn't make a difference to the vote.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, okay. All right, so I'd like to make an announcement before we show the results. This is my last meeting as coordinator of the Homer chapter of 100 Women Who Care. I am embarking on a new adventure that's going to take all of my energy for the next year or more. I am going to get a new heart. I'm going to have a heart transplant. So my husband Rick and I will be relocating temporarily to Portland, Oregon, to the Providence St. Vincent Transplant Center, probably right after the first of the year. So I will still participate, but I will not be able to lead the meetings. Catriona Reynolds is going to take over as coordinator of the group with assistance from a second member who has not yet been named. If you're interested, please talk to Catriona. In addition, they'll need someone to take Catriona's place, which is running the technical aspects of the Zoom meeting. So if you're really good at that, we'd appreciate you talking to Catriona. You can reach her at 299-3410. And I want to say it's been a blast, and it's been my pleasure to be the coordinator for this 100 Women Who Care chapter, which started with a conversation in my dining room with 6 of you in 2017. It kicked off in March of 2018 with 23 members that first time. And as of today, we have 152 members, and we've contributed $159,000 to deserving organizations in and around Homer. So I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity to lead you. And please promise me that you'll keep up the good work, because I will be watching. I'll still be playing. I'm just not going to be the coordinator. And you're welcome. I see some thank yous coming in. So thank you. Thank everybody. Okay, Catriona.
Thank you, Patrice. And I was there right at the beginning with you, and I appreciate
know.
that you got 100 Women Who Care who started up. And to clarify, not at the dinner, at the Bear Creek Winery.
Right.
So yeah, thank you for everything. And yes, I look forward to. I've seen a couple of people chat in that they are interested in chatting about what all's involved. So thank you for
Great.
that.
Terrific.
And here are the results with a pretty clear winner. I think, how do I show? There we go.
Okay. Well, congratulations to Hannah on behalf of Megan's Place. Thank you also to Rika and to Amy. The presentations were outstanding, everyone's. That's terrific. So I believe that we are going to write our checks to Megan's Place. Is that right, Hannah?
Yes.
Because that is the name of the 501c3. Okay, so we're going to write our checks to Megan's Place for $100. And as you know, the pledge that we make is that we all send the $100 to Megan's Place, whether you're in the meeting or whether you voted for that or not. That's our group decision. That's the beauty of a giving circle. And then you can drop your check or money order or cash off at Art Shop Gallery Monday through Saturday 11 to 6, Sunday 12 to 4 in December, or you can leave it in the mailbox next to the door at Art Shop, or you can mail it to 100 Women Who Care, P.O. Box 3307 here in Homer. And remember, nobody will stop you from writing a second check or third check if you feel strongly about it. If this is your first meeting and you haven't officially joined yet, please go to our Facebook page, 100 Women Who Care Homer, and download our membership pledge, or you can send me an email and I'll send you one. My email is pkrant, PKRANT @me.com. And remember to get your checks in by Friday, December 17th, if you want to win that 24 cookies made and donated by Catriona. So thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. We'll see you again on Thursday, March 3rd. For our next quarterly meeting. That means you have 3 months to do a little research about your favorite charity and prepare to make a 5-minute pitch for it at our next meeting. So maybe our next meeting is going to be a live in-person indoor event, or it might even be a hybrid event where we have the option to both be there or be on Zoom. That's the kind of thing that your new leader, Catriona, can figure out. So I'm very, very excited about that. So everyone, thank you very much and have a good evening.